All right, here we are going to begin the episode today, and we are going to learn the most important thing of the Swift programming, which is called the variables. So, why we use the variables, why we need the variable, and what is the actual value of the variable in the Swift programming. Now, let's begin today and create a playground in the Xcode. Now, first of all, let's open the Xcode. So, let me open my Xcode. You can open on your computer too. At the same time, you can practice with me. Okay, here we go. Here we did completed the first program, which is called the Xcode setup, and little bit hello world program in the last video. Now we are going to start very basics of the variables. There are two types of variables mainly in the Swift programming. Let me teach you what the two types the variables are is. So here we are going to click on the playground and give a name of that playground, so because we want to save the file, and I am going to make the name is variables. Okay, so let's know that first what the actually variable is and why we need the variable. First of all, let clear it all and then just import simply foundation, and then we are going to start the practice. First of all, I would like to let you know that there are mainly two types of variable. The one is called the mutable variable, and the another one which is called the immutable variable. Okay, immutable variable. So what is the mutable and immutable variable is? The mutable variable is actually a variable that can mutate or update their values once it assigned, and immutable variable is something that constant, something that is stable. Once you assign the any value in the variable that you declared in the program, and then you cannot be reassigned those values by accessing the another variable. Now let me give you some demonstration and a real life example what the mutable variable actually is. So the mutable variable we just declare with keyword var. Using the var keyword, which is called var, the mutable variable will going to create. So let me write here var, and then the variable name actually I want. So I want the variable name is name, and then we are going to make an equal sign. The variable mutable variable actually contains the keyword which is called var. Keyword is a predefined thing that you can use to declare the variable. So here we are trying to create a variable which is called var, which is mutable variable, because the var constants for the mutability. And now we are going to name a variable which is called name. I call the name itself name of the variable. So now here we are going to assign something into it. I want to assign some name like hey Samad. So why the double quotes between among the name of Samad? So because it's why we have to underground the double quotes, because it's an string. So a string which calls alphabets. Okay, so here we write alphabets, which in the world of programming called strings. That's why I just underground the double quotes with. If you want to assign numbers like var num equals any number, that 1 2 3 4 5 6, so you don't have to be put here the double quotes anything like that. So here we created a mutable variable. What does the mutable mean? Once you created the variable called var keyword using, so if you are, and if you're trying to mutate it like this, and name, you access the name here, name equals something like hey Sam. So here there is no error you can see, because I reassigned the name from the summer to hey Sam. That's why we call the mutable variable. So once you assigned this immutable variable it, so it won't be reassigned. The value cannot be changed. It's say hey, the value is immutable and the value cannot be changed there. So we will see in just a minute. Let me make you understand and clear and concise on your mind that the mutable variable something called has the power of mutability. So I can see that here, you can see that mutability. Now let's print it. So I would like to print here with using the print keyword, which is used to print or show something on the screen that you have been declared in the program. Now let's get to it. So I would like to print my name because I just updated here. So the updation which is That's why the updation is work here, because it is mutability here. So let me print the name first. I want to show the name, what the name value contains. The name is contains samad, but here we mutated the variable which is called them, which is the power of mutability. So there is, now let's get to run it with using this play button and see the output on the console. Now I'm going to explain this. It's now here, the program is loading. Once it launched and completely run, the output will be shown here. So you have to wait for a while. First time it will take some time. Once the program is run for the first time, then it won't take longer time. In some few other IDs you can see the status in the console too, but in the Swift Xcode here you can see. So now you can see the hey Sam you can see, because we updated the value, we mutate the value of the name. So what if I just cleared it? Now let's clear it. It will show the Samad, because the name is now Samad. As you can see that here the result is Samad now. So that's, I hope you understand what is the actual the mutability of the variable is. So yeah, that's enough for to understand, and that's why how we are declare the variable in the Swift programming. Although let's understand the immutable variable, why we call it immutable, and what is the immutable variable actually is. Now let's declare some immutable variable which has a keyword called let. So we are using the let instead of var, because we don't want to create the immutable variable. And yeah, the immutable variable is very powerful. Once you assign, you don't, no one can change or update the value into it. So that's why we use, so here we use the let keyword instead of var. Now let's name the variable name. I would like to name here something like age and equals, and I would like to write my age here. Now it is immutable. Once you assign the age cannot be updated. Or so now you can see we just assigned a variable name is called age, and in the age we put the value 21, we keep the value 21. And if I print that, let's print it, print age, and yeah, let me see the result. So basically we can press the play button here, you can see the 21, and the other one is the name he is printing Samad. Let's comment out it, because make it clear the console. As you can see that, and it just bit, the result is 21 again. So why with 21? Because we put the age 21 and print the age here inside this body of the print function. Now let's reassign it. Let's try to reassign it. Let me access the age here, which is name age and equals 50. I would like to update this value which is immutable here at 50. As you can see, here's the error, cannot assign to value age is a let constant, because it's immutable, you cannot reassign it. Once you start running, that program give you an error. Variables of playground, change let to var to make it mutable. As you can see here, the console itself telling you that the var you have to use instead of let, because the let cannot be mutated. So let to var, you have to change let into var to make it mutable. I hope you understand yet. Now let's get to try something else, like type inference. What is the type inference in the variables? Let me here give a headline. So now let me teach you the type inference. So first of all, let us know the actually what is the type inference is. The type inference in the Swift program is actually an optional thing, but the most of the programmer use it because it prevent the application crashes. Basically we tell the interpreter what kind of value is assigned. So once we in using the type inference, once we tell the interpreter or compiler the type is integer or a string, so the value cannot be stored the string value instead of integer, or instead of string we cannot assign the integer value, and instead of integer value cannot assign the string value. So that's why we use the type inference. It is very powerful feature of the Swift programming. You must have to use it once you learn it. Now let's get in start. Let me give a heading here that the call something like, it's just very simple. I hope you understand this about what did I teach you, so you will able to understand these things too. Now I want to just keep on same name that you make you easy to understand. The name variable name is name. Now I want to then using the immutable variable, so which is let, and I want to keep the name of that variable name itself, so I just keep it name. And then here we have to put the colon and just what you want to assign. Here you have to be very focusing. So what you want to assign, what kind of value you want to assign into that variable. Suppose if you want to assign alphabets, which is called a string in the computer world. So let me just write here the string, which is the start with capital S, so string. Now I have to keep the equals things here, and in the double quotes I write the name Samad, as we wrote in the first variable. Here you can see the name into, so the same thing will going here, but the difference is just we tell the compiler we want to store the string. And why we use it instead of that simple way? Because this does what this does actually in the behind the scene, this is prevent the crashes of your application once you work for the real world application, once you want to create your own application or in any industry. So hope you understand that. Similarly, if you want to just store the integer values just like numbers, so you have to let me give you the variable name is numbers and colon, and then I have to here put the int and then equals and what I wanted to keep here. Okay, so that's how it's work. I hope you understand till that. Let's see, there is also other options too, that which is called the boolean and options, like boolean true false, if you know that, and also as well as the double, which is used to store the decimal value in the program. So now let me create a boolean variable here and let me declare it. So you can use the let or write any, so I am going to use let here, and then the name is true false of the variable, so it's simply, and then colon here, and I would like to keep it bool. There is no any worry about the space, just you can see here I give a space, so I can give here, there is no difference whether you just keep the space in between this or not. There is no any issue will be going to be happen. Now I am going to make you understand what the actually bool is. So bool is either true or either it should be false, because it's just zeros and one on and off. If you hope so you understand, it's just on and off. So would you like to print this all these variables? Let me teach you first before it's printing something about it, about the double do. So let, if you want to store the pi value, like it's just a decimal value 3.14 something, okay, so we need a double variable. So we have to create a double variable, like variable name is pi, and then we have to write here double. So what it does, the double is actually used to store the decimal values in the programming. Now let's I want to just 3.14. Oh, sorry, it's 14. So here you can see the 4 types of type inference variables we have been declared here. Now let's print this entire variable. What's going on? Let's see. Print, just like I want to show into the screen, that's why we use the print. Whenever you want to show something in the screen or the console as an output, you have to use the print function. So it is a predefined function, it comes with the Swift feature, so you have to put it, and what you want to print you can put inside the body of the print. Now I want to print the name here, and also as well as the print something called number, and also I would like to print something called true false, and also I would like to print pi too. So what it's going to print, I just put the name of the variable. So I want to print this all the variables of value. So the name contains Samad name, and the number contains something, these numbers, Jigrin Jargis, something like that. And the true false contains the value which is called false. Otherwise it can be true, or either it should be the false. It's just 2 options, nothing more than that. There is another third option is actually you will going to use it, which is called nil. So which is called nil. So nil, which means nothing. So in the future we will going to learn a feature called optionals, which is very important for the Swift. Then you will learn the nil, because there is two options, either ones will be going to execute, otherwise the second will be going to execute by default. It's like a ternary operator whenever we use. If you know the programming, you will understand what I'm trying to say you. So if you're a beginner, you don't have to be focused on there, you just focus to be here. Now what we are going to do is true. So here I print this all the values. Now let's click on the play button. It will just process a little bit here. You can see the loading, preparing to run variables, whatever. So here, as you can see, the values here too, but without printing you can see only the here, but with printing you have to focus on the console. It's just building. So yeah, here you can see the output. First is called sum, second is some number that you will put here, and the third one is true. If you put false here, then it will print false. And another is a pi, which is a double value, double which means the decimal value. So here we just see the decimal value. Okay, I hope you understand the entire video. If you do not understand it yet, you can ask me on the Discord or comment me down below. And if you have any confusion, you can also use the AI chat GPTs and Grok to understand programming concepts. If you don't know, if you don't understand from here, I suggest you to watch this video again if you didn't understand something. So now for this time, it's completed, this topic which is called the variables, and I hope you understand the entire concept. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end.